Narraesthetics is developing an interactive adaptation of The Little Match Girl. We're approaching game design from a narrative perspective, and we've decided to record it all and share it with you. Different camera angle. Last episode we talked about the motivation for the player at the very end of the game. So during that episode you may have said, well, what makes the player want to do this, or what makes the player want to do that? In this episode I'll try to explain some of the motivations that we're trying to get across. As soon as they start the game, they'll be in this open field, and it's open because I just want the player to start walking. The reason why I want to have them start walking is because they have a temperature meter, and this temperature meter will decrease depending on their movement. So if they start moving, temperature decreases. When they stop, it will stop. The only way I could figure out how to teach this to the player would be to have the player walk and then have the temperature meter move. The player is there, the meter is kind of invisible. The player starts walking, the meter becomes visible, and then it starts lowering. And then when the player stops, the temperature stops, and then after a while it disappears. The only thing they'll find in this area is going to be their grandmother's house, and so naturally they'll want to investigate and go inside. So when they go inside and they get the matches, they'll put it together. Oh yeah, matches, fireplace, I'm cold, warmth. So the next motivation that I wanted to talk about was their motivation to get to their apartment in the city. Now I'm still kind of fuzzy on this, and it's because I'm still haven't decided on a level design that I'm particularly happy with yet. I'm still trying to design the environment in ways that has certain goals attached to it, and I can lead the player in certain ways. I'm still not sure how to do that just yet, so update on that later. The thing that I'm having trouble with at the moment is the motivation for the player to keep continuing to play the game. The player will figure out that selling matches is just not going to be happening, that it's going to be really, really hard, and they just don't want to do it. What's the point in playing the game if you don't want to do the mechanic? It's like if you were to play Mario and you're like, man, I don't want to jump through all that. What makes you continue playing the game? In this instance, I want the player to continue to stay alive. If they can stay alive, then that's all the motivation they need. They just need to stay alive in the game. The game exists in this nebulous state where I keep trying to change things because I think they might motivate and they won't motivate, so I'm still trying to figure it out completely, but hopefully later I can come up with something more concrete that I can talk about with you guys, because it's so shaky and I don't really know how to put into words what it is that I'm thinking about, because there's a lot of stuff going on and I don't really know how to say it all. So anyway, we'll talk about that later. There was this thing that I found out that I was doing that I didn't even know I was doing, which was top-down coding for Unity. And top-down coding is where you take an idea, you have an idea, and then you break that down into little ideas, sub-ideas, subroutines, and then break those down even more and break those down even more. You get to the very, very base of the idea, and that's where you can start coding little parts to start making the big parts. But the thing is, I don't have the knowledge that goes that deep in C# and Unity. So I found out that what the better way to do is bottom-up coding, or it may not be a better way, but it's better for beginners at least. And bottom-up coding is just, you start with the things that you know, and then build up from there to create something. Now I don't really know how to connect the bottom-up coding to formulate an idea that you have at the very top. I don't know if that's even possible. I don't know if I'm looking at this correctly, but that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. I also been trying to figure out the fundamentals of Unity, and I've been actually having a lot of good luck on 3D Buzz. That website, they have so many different videos that teach you just the fundamentals of Unity, and really that's what I've been looking for. I've always been doing Unity tutorial after tutorial, and while the tutorials are nice, they still are top-down methods. So they'll present an idea, then they'll show you how to code it exactly, but you don't really understand the code just yet, if you're like me anyway. It's just a lot of different things happening right now, so I guess stay tuned to see how it comes together, or how it won't come together. My name's Devon, this is Narraesthetics, episode 8, entry 8. I don't know if I should call these episodes or entries. I will talk to you guys later.